Alright, tonight we're going to be playing some Paperboy 2. This game came out in 1992 on the Super Nintendo. This is one of the best games, in my opinion, on the Super Nintendo. Anyone who had one played this game, they loved it. All those critics didn't really care for it, but F those guys, man. Alright, here we go. Those are the subscribers, and these are the non-subscribers. Let's get into it. So I'm going to be doing some retro gaming. So if any of you guys have any games that you want me to play through, let me know, man. But my plan is to just go through and play a lot of Super Nintendo and NES games. Probably dabble a little bit into 64 as well. But yeah, retro gaming. So Paperboy, man, this is... I remember going to Blockbuster and renting this game, dude. And it's so hard. So this is the premise of the game. What you do is you're a paper boy and you deliver the paper to all these houses. And what's fun is that there's all these obstacles in your way that you have to move and dodge. But it's also a quirky world. Like I can hit those old people and they fall out of their chair. But it's a lot of fun. There's like all these obstacles and everything that you have to avoid and deliver the paper at the same time. So in a way, it's like one of the OG Survivor games, right? You just keep going as long as you can until you die. Not today, man. Not today. Today. All right. A lot of people are like, dude, did Seinfeld freaking get their theme song from Paperboy 2? And the answer is probably. Get some papers, dude. Restock. I missed them. So this game, I think this was the last one in the franchise. I think it came out on Game Boy. Minigame! But it kind of just died after this franchise, which is weird because it was loved by so many people. Ooh. Oh! I didn't hit that wall, dude! Whatever. Whatever. I'm still gonna deliver it. Look at that. Boy saves the breakaway baby. I think one of the hard things about this game is it looks so easy, like how did you miss that jump? But the controls are actually pretty difficult, I won't lie. It's not easy. It's not easy controlling this bike. One for you guys. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't put that they didn't put Paperboy 2 on the Super Classic. Thought they definitely put it on there, but they didn't. Which is kind of a shame because everybody I knew that played Super Nintendo played this game. They either owned it, borrowed it, or rented it. Because it was just one of those games that everyone kept telling their friends to play. Gotcha! Oh, I missed him. Paperboy's a lot of fun, though. Interesting, though, MailChimp. I don't know if you guys know who MailChimp is. They're kind of, they're a software company. They do email managing emails, mass email management, whatever. They, I was fired! But I got freaking on the letterboard. They actually reimagined this game a couple months back. And it's called Post Haste. It used to be a web browser game, but now it's you can download it for your phone or iPhone or Android or whatever. It's a lot of fun. It's free too. MailChimp. It's a lot of fun because they reimagined this entire game, and I love the freaking atmosphere they have. It's like this 80s, 90s vibe. It's pretty cool. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. Oh, freaking zombie. So, oh jeez, I cannot hit that ramp. That ramp has always been my biggest obstacle when playing this game. Whenever I have to come to this part, I just dread it because I know I'm gonna crash. What's really cool, like, this game is based on like high score, and so if you see the top left corner, you'll see how many papers I have left, how many lives I have left, and my high score. All these games from like NES and Super, ooh jeez, the NES and the SNES, a lot of the games they were all about the high score because saved you, baby. Because this was like the predecessor of the arcade cabinet, and that's what games were, right? You'd go to a game and you'd play it, and if you were really good, you'd be able to get on the top 10 board, put your initials in, and just own it, man. And that's what a lot of these games were. In fact, a lot of the games that were put on the NES or the Super Nintendo were actually games that were ported over to these home consoles. So high scores were like a big deal. And so this is a multiplayer game. Technically, it's 2-player, and the objective ultimately is just to see who can get the highest score. Even Mario had a high score, which is kind of interesting. You know, that if you look in any of the Mario games at the very top, it just keeps, there's just this running total. Like how fast do you complete the level, how many coins did you collect in the game. Because they were all about that. Oh my gosh. Controls are so sticky on this game, if you guys can't tell by the movement. It's still a lot of fun. Cancel subscriptions, man. But I saved a baby. Alright, let's rock and roll. I don't remember who actually has a subscription. Oh my gosh. I just delivered to every house. And I got fired. Ooh. So I am mega pumped up for Avengers Endgame. I am a huge Marvel fan. I've been a huge Marvel fan my entire life. I grew up watching the 90s X-Men and Spider-Man cartoons. Read some comics. I freaking love Marvel. They've always been my favorite because they have some of the funnest and most interesting characters. And I'm just super pleased with what Kevin Feige has done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this movie's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna end the 22 film saga. Something we haven't really seen. I mean, the closest movie franchise that I can think of would be Star Wars. Something that's been something that's been ongoing for, decades. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how they end this franchise. I mean, it's gonna continue, obviously, because we know Spider-Man Homecoming is coming out in July, which is after the Avengers game. What they're gonna be doing, if any of you guys don't know, they are actually going to be starting the next story arc for the Marvel movies. So looks like they're going to do another 10 years, and it's going to be like another big story that kind of, another big story arc that the heroes will go through. So everyone will get their standalone movies and then kind of just build a bigger picture. We don't know what the bigger picture is going to be, what the overall story arc is. My bet would be Secret Wars. That's a huge storyline, beloved among many fans. And it's really interesting if you guys don't know the Secret Wars storyline. It's trippy. But I'm not going to talk about that here. I'm going to talk about how pumped I am for Endgame. This is... I hate to be that guy to say it, but this, to me, is like the equivalent of Empire Strikes Back for this generation. And the Russo brothers are really fascinating. They're incredible storytellers, and I admire, their love and passion for the source material, but also being good at what they do, right? They're all about character arcs, character development, only doing cool things if the story calls for it. I was listening to some interviews with them, and they were talking about one of the interviewers were talking about making that scene in Infinity War where Thor arrives to Wakanda with a rocket on his shoulder, and they just said that that's like one of the best parts of the whole movie because it's so hardcore. And they're like, how did you come up with that? And they're like, well, we would not have done that scene if the story didn't call for it, right? And that's what made it work. And that's what I admire about the Russos. They might have a cool idea, but they're not gonna like form the story around a cool Thor rocket entrance. So I admire the way that they tell their stories, and so I have good faith in them. They pulled off Infinity War very well. Civil War was really interesting. A lot of people didn't like it because they found it boring, but I think it's one of the most critical Marvel movies because you get to this crossroads and you see Cap's perspective, Iron Man's perspective, and you can sympathize with both of them. Like, oh wow, I get where Tony Stark is coming from. I mean, everything that he's been through, everything that he's learned and taught himself over the years. Yeah, that makes sense. And then you get Cap, who's just like Mr. Right, no matter what cost. And he's more interested in people's freedom than being restricted to do the right thing. So that story would not have worked if they didn't spend 8 years, 7 years, whatever it was, working up to that point in the franchise. And I really love what they did with Winter Soldier. That was their first movie, the Russo brothers. And they really took Captain America, which I thought was pretty lame. He was never a hero that I was like pumped up about. But the Russo brothers took him and they made him just this really interesting character, and giving him all of these problems and things to deal with, and really showing you the choices and decisions that he has to make in order to do the right thing. They really grounded his character, made him relatable, made him really cool, because he was always kind of just lame. So the Russo brothers are really good at that stuff. So I don't think they could have found a better director or directors to conclude their 22 film saga. Oh boy! But I'm pretty pumped about it. If people could freaking stop with the spoilers left and right, though. I keep seeing all of these things on YouTube, all these stories or headlines, blog articles of all these spoilers or theories that are just getting out of hand. And I'm at the point where I'm just like, why can't I just have an untouched, unspoiled, awesome movie? It's like everyone craves and thrives on spoilers, and they have to know what happens in the movie. It's just like, man, you're just gonna ruin the whole experience. I don't know if you guys heard this either. The Russo brothers, they love the story, and it's something that they've been working towards for so long. And they said in these interviews that they knew the end of Endgame, how everything was going to play out as they were shaping the stories for Endgame and Infinity War. So they knew where they were going to end this whole saga and how to get there. And so they've been doing a really good job at protecting the secrets of the film, to the point where, this is what I love the most, to the point where they most everything we saw in the trailer was not real. It wasn't. They're clips that aren't included in the movie, whether they're B-roll, whether they're one of the random takes with random scripts that they wrote. It's not what we're expecting. And I admire that so much, and I wish more filmmakers would actually do the same thing, because I don't know if you guys ever just gone and seen a random movie, a movie you've never heard of, you've never seen a trailer, you just don't know anything about it, but you just go and you go see a movie. I've done that a couple of times, and I love doing that because I go in, no expectations, no idea what I'm about to watch. And it's such a great experience. Everything's fresh. You have no idea what to expect. And that's the kind of feeling that I want going in with Endgame. That's the kind of feeling I want to go with any movie, to be honest. I just don't want anything to be spoiled. I mean, how many movies out there have trailers that give you the entire plot? They give you a linear plot outline of the movie. It's like Spark Notes, but for the movie trailer. It's really sad, and as a big movie fan, it's something that I want to be kept. I want the plot line to be as quiet as possible. I don't want to go in knowing everything about the movie. And I think the Russos have found a great way at doing that. Just show footage that's not part of the movie, not part of the story. Just give them B-roll footage. Anyways, that's the Marvel stuff. You guys aren't here to talk about movies. You guys are here about the video games, which is good because I love the video games. Speaking of video games, did you guys Ooh. Oh, I can only get the ones that are facing me. Yeah. Boo! What? Oh, mama. What were we talking about? Video games? Something about video games? E3. Oh, that's what it was. Nintendo has apparently there is this rumor that they're going to have a direct. There's going to be a direct coming out here pretty soon. Whoa! Right into freaking Zombie Man. And I got fired. I got fired for running into Rob Zombie. Hey, look at that. It sounds like Nintendo's got another direct coming up. Let's go. There's nothing specified, but there's a rumor that there's going to be one probably sometime next week. I think that'll be kind of interesting to see. If they do have a direct, I'm hoping that this direct will focus on their hardware. Because I did a video a couple weeks ago about the confirmed Switch Mini and how I want Nintendo to make a Pro instead. It's kind of funny because I made a video and literally like 2 weeks later, Nintendo comes out and they confirm that, yeah, they're doing a Mini, but also they're going to create a Pro version of the Switch. And that's exciting news. That's what I'm more interested in. I could care less about the Mini, but gotcha. Well, let's talk about that for a little bit, all right? So we have confirmed that there's going to be a Switch Mini and a Switch Pro version. So the Mini, right? This is the one that's got more people talking, which I'm kind of surprised about. But Nintendo has said that it's going to be the successor to the 3DS, which is kind of interesting. You know, they tried really hard to make the two different systems, the Switch and the 3DS, unique and different. And, you know, they were developing games, and there's still actually a game or two coming out on the 3DS. But I think they've realized, hey, what's the point of having a 3DS when I can have a higher, just a better performing handheld console with better, more in-depth games? Like, why would I get a 3DS? And I love my 3DS, don't get me wrong. In fact, I probably have more games on my 3DS than I do on my PlayStation and Switch combined. They've just got such a strong library. But I can kind of see now, the Switch has been out for 2 years, their library is ginormous than when it was when it first came out. So now I can kind of see them going, yeah, I mean, there is no point to the 3DS unless you're just going to pick up some of the old games. Got it. Baby. Oh, I missed it. So that's kind of interesting. A lot of people, though, I'm interested to hear what people's ideas and takes are on the Switch Mini, because personally, I don't think there's going to be a big difference. A lot of people think that the Joy-Cons are going to be attached and they won't be detachable. They think that the screen will be smaller, resolution will be smaller. All of those things I could see, foreseeable things. But what I think is, and I've talked about this before, I don't think that it's going to be anything different than what we have now. And here's why. When you buy a Switch for $300, it comes with the console, 2 Joy-Cons, and it comes with the docking station. You can buy a docking station separate for $70 or $80, right? And the whole purpose of a Switch is to be able to have that capability of switching from mobile to TV. So why would they have a mini Switch if it could not switch? So my thought process is that they're just going to roll out a regular old Switch that just won't come with the docking station. And if you think about it, the Switch has been out for 2 years already. The hardware and the components that they use to build the Switch are significantly cheaper now than when they started manufacturing the console. Gotcha, baby. So I kind of think that the Switch Mini is just going to be Switch without the dock, which would still give users the ability to switch to the TV if they so desire to purchase a dock in the future. The hardware is just so much cheaper nowadays. They're not going to be losing any money. And it's a good way to get, casual gamers into the Switch, introducing them, because they can get a cheaper version of the Switch, can still run these games like Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey and have a good time. The Pro, though, let's talk about the Pro, because this is what I'm most excited about. Nintendo said that the Pro version, this kind of bugs me, they said it's not going to be as powerful as the PlayStation Pro or the Xbox One X. They said it's going to be underpowered compared to those two. That kind of bugs me big time, because then what's the point of having a Pro version if it's not even going to compete with PlayStation or Xbox? And here's the thing that really bothers me about that, right? Even if it was going to be slightly underpowered compared to the two, those systems are on their way out. They've had their time in the sun. In fact, rumor is that we're going to be getting next-gen consoles for PlayStation and Xbox next year, which are going to only have more processing power, higher performing hardware, graphic cards, heat, fan systems, and everything. So they're going to come out with this Switch Pro version that's going to be underpowered compared to the PlayStation Pro and the Xbox One X, which might just be the same, like the equivalent of PlayStation 5. Like the PS Pro might be the same hardware as the PlayStation 5. So it kind of bothers me quite a bit, because Nintendo is just going to be way behind everybody else when it comes to their hardware. Why go big, Nintendo? Go big. People want that experience. People pay $600-$700 for these consoles because they want that experience. And guess what? I am willing to bet that there are people out there that are willing to spend $500-$600 on a Pro version of the Switch. But maybe the reason is just trying to put that kind of processing power in something so small. That might be the main reason why they don't do it. So who knows, right? Could be several things, but that's kind of what my thought process is. They're just going to be way behind compared to current gens in a year from now, which will probably be when we start seeing these Pro and Minis. They said they're slated for this year, which means end of year, so early next year, and then only a couple of months until PS5 and Xbox One X2 come out. So I don't know, Nintendo. You guys just freaking need to make a pro version of your console. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If I can freaking jump off that ramp. Ay, 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 ay. It'll be interesting to see, that's for sure. I will, regardless, purchase the pro version because I want that. I mean, could you imagine playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, 60 FPS, 4K resolution? Boy, that would be so good. I would have a good time. That game to me is a very beautiful game. But to be able to get higher resolution, faster frame rates, I can only imagine what that game would be like. Yeah. Oh, baby! Dodged it all. Nope. Newspapers here, boys. Oh, man. That is hard. It is so hard controlling this guy. I love these tunes, man. It freaking just sounds like Seinfeld. That's... Ooh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Ah! Oh, gosh, dang it. Rough, dude, rough. Some other interesting news right now. Any Overwatch fans that are watching right now, Blizzard's having like a ridiculous sale on all their merchandise. There's this hat for freaking $10 that I want to go buy right now. Pretty excited about that. I got fired. Stupid idiot. 6,000? Bottom of the top 10? Get out of here. Do. Gotcha, ghost. Man. I love this game. Got him. Oh. Freaking redneck. He's got 2 TVs stacked on each other outside. Got it. So you can get the door or the mailbox. I think you get more points if it's the mailbox than the door because it's a smaller... Yeah, oh, got it. Crap. Come on. Alright, here we go. So I'm thinking the next playthrough that I'm going to do will probably be Donkey Kong. Ooh, so close. Donkey Kong is just one of my favorite games of all time. If not my favorite game. DK2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. It's just so good. So I'll probably be playing those. I don't know if I'm going to play them in order or not. I mainly just want to play them, have a good time, share some of these great experiences with people who haven't played the Super Nintendo versions or just love the nostalgia. Get back in here. Got it. Hey, babe. Stay cool. Yeah. Mini game, boy. Gotcha. Oh, man. You look at this, and it's like one of those things that are like, oh, why is it so hard? And it's just like, it is really hard. 6,600 points? That's garbage, dude. Canceled subscriptions. Like 3 of them. That's not bad. That's not bad. I will say I am rather surprised that Paperboy wasn't a franchise that was continued. I would love to see another Paperboy on the Switch with way better controls. It's just such a simple premise, right? Go deliver the news And watch out for monsters in the sewer and zombies crossing the road. Jaywalking zombies. Yeah, boy, yeah. Freaking gargoyles. Anyone remember the Gargoyles cartoon? If you did, you probably played Paperboy too. It's about that same... They're about the same age. No! Yeah! Get in! Ugh! You can't turn any... That's as sharp as you can turn in this game. I don't even want my name on the board. It's so embarrassing. Going down easy street. Sonic boom or dust? Gotcha, boy. Old folks. Got the jump. Ooh, watch out for the garbage can. Yeah. Crap, dude. Ugh. Piss off, ghost. Come on. I had a job as a paperboy when I was in like the 1st or 2nd grade. I remember I was on my front lawn playing with my younger brother. I don't remember what we were doing. We were just dicking around. And this guy came up. He must have been like 40 years old. And he saw my brother and I just playing outside. And he delivered the paper. And then he stops for a moment and on his way out. And he said, would you guys like a job? And obviously when you're like in the 1st grade, like, yeah, I want to grow up and get a job. Like, why wouldn't I want that? So, as dumb as I was in the 1st grade, I straight up got a job as a paperboy with my brother, and it was the worst job. I think we were getting paid like $3.50 an hour. It's so stupid. Oh man. Anyway, I just remember how awful it was because I had to wake up so early in the morning. We'd wake up like at 5:30. And we had to go deliver the papers, and they had specific rules, like you couldn't put the newspapers in the mailboxes because it was against the law. We did it before school. No, we did it after school on the weekdays, and then on Saturday, man, Saturday was like 5 a.m. Butt crack of dawn, you get up, you get those stupid newspapers, you roll them up with the rubber bands. And then your mom or dad, my mom or dad would just drive me and my brother around and we'd deliver the papers. And at first, you did it for the first couple of weeks. You're like, this is the coolest thing. I've got a job. I freaking go to school. I'm making money. And then I remember getting my first paycheck going, is that it? That's all of the hard work I did, waking up that early on all my Saturdays. This is how much money I earned? And I was like, nah, screw that. My brother and I quit. I think we did it for like a month or two. And then, I think ultimately my parents were more like, I'm not waking up anymore on Saturday so you can deliver papers for freaking scraps. It wasn't a good gig. I don't even think those jobs exist anymore. A newspaper get delivered anymore? Maybe. I don't know, man. Dude, probably not. Those were some good times. Oh my gosh. I remember one time my dad ran over my foot. Alright, paper girl time. My dad ran over my foot one time. The way that it worked was we just popped open the trunk in our little sedan, and my brother and I would sit in the trunk with the newspapers, and he would just drive. Because it was like every couple of houses you would just stop, so there's no point in like getting in and closing the door and getting out and closing the door and getting in. So we just popped open the trunk, threw all the newspapers back there, and we just kind of sat in the trunk. And I remember one time he just left a little too early before we got in. It got my foot, dude. And the surprising thing was, like, my foot didn't break. I didn't get a sprained ankle or anything. Like, it just was a lot of pressure on top of my foot. I hate that jump. Happened to my brother too. We both got our foots ran over. Our feets. We got our feets ran over. It's too good. Stick 'em up. I missed. Yeah, those were some good times. I got my finger stuck in the car door once or twice. That is more painful than getting your foot ran over by a car. Whoa, peace out, dude. Paper girl coming through. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Do 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 do. Stop, baby. I like how that guy's frying a whole pig in his yard on a spit, and he sees his baby cruising down high speed, and he's like, "Oh, oh my God, the pig! Ah, get away! Oh my gosh! I didn't know you could do that. The pig's still alive." And this game, 20 years and it's still got a bunch of surprises. Like crashing into nothing. Canceled. We have what, 3 people? Screw those guys. Am I right, guys? Girl saves a breakaway baby. Yeah, let's get Nintendo to make another Paperboy. Okay? Oh, crap. Michael Jackson. Actually, I don't know who made this game. I don't think it was Nintendo. I think it's licensed by them, but I don't think they actually made the game. But whoever did, freaking better make a Paperboy 3 Nintendo Switch. Piece of crap. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. So I had a lot of people comment on my Atari video. Oh my gosh, look at that picture. That straight up is just the Paperboy with like a wig over his face. What? Oh my gosh, that's disgusting, man. It's like he got fired as a Paperboy, threw on a wig, got rehired as a paper girl. He still sucks, man. I'm gonna show you guys. When I get fired this time, you'll see it. Yeah. How did I miss that? Alright, here we go, here we go. Do. I'm serious, Nintendo. Friggin' make Paperboy 3. Oh, Atari, that's what we were talking about. I got a couple of comments on my Atari video that I released recently, and there's this one guy who thought that Atari got funded on Indiegogo or whatever, and that they're just gonna run with the money. Atari's still around, dude. They still make games and junk. They just did the campaign so that they could get some support behind them. They don't have enough money to manufacture a console. They don't want to take that risk. Oh, shoot, I ran into the gutter. But it was kind of funny. A lot of people are like, whoa, if Atari's in the game again, then why aren't they going to be at E3? I don't know, dude. Freaking, I don't run Atari. Just reporting that they changed some of the specs, so it's going to be more powerful. I don't know. The Atari's really cool, and I give them props since they were like technically the first home console. And they made a lot of great games. I love Atari games. They haven't made, you know, many good games recently. Maybe that's what they need to focus on, is making good games before they worry about making a console. I don't know. It just looks like a glorified Steam box, in my opinion. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if, you know, developers are actually going to develop for Atari. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it would be cool. I love the design of the Atari. I think it freaking looks sweet. That wood panel, baby. Oof. Some good retro design right there. But then it's just like, they're just targeting my nostalgia. And guess what? My nostalgia is a cheap son of a gun. Alright, there we go. We did it. You know how many times I've actually reached the end tonight? I think that was like my third time I've actually reached the end. Ay. Got you, dog. What up, dog? Has anyone watched Shazam yet? See, look, it's the exact same face. They just changed the hair. Delicious Coke. Yeah, I haven't seen Shazam yet. I want to go see it because I love Zachary Levi. And I think he's definitely the kind of guy that could bring something like Shazam alive. Gotcha. Ran right into that fence like a dunce. Whatever. I don't even care. I ain't even mad about it. Alright, this is probably going to be my last one tonight. I got stuff I got to do, guys. But anyways, let me know what you guys want in the comments. Like, what retro game should I play next? I think I'm going to play DK. Yeah, probably Donkey Kong Country. Yeah. Or Donkey Kong Country 2. It's just such a goodie, man. I'm surprised how many people haven't played that game yet. Like, I thought everybody played Donkey Kong Country, but I'm surprised at how many people never played it. Which is such a surprise, because it is such a classic. Whoa! I'm right into that guy's butt. I'll probably play that one next. Some games that I do have planned. Donkey Kongs, all three of them. Not in, you know, any particular order, and not back to back, obviously, but the DK trilogy, Super Mario World, Zelda: A Link to the Past. Ooh, that's a must play. I might play that one next. It's such a good one. Of all the Zeldas, that one is definitely in my top 3 favorite Zelda games. And people are like, "Why, dude?" And it's like, pfft. I'll do a playthrough and I'll show you why it's so good. There's a guy, man. Alright, let's go. Alright, minigame. We're gonna end on a minigame. So it's gotta be a good one. Here we go. Oh, you can knock down those things? Oh, God. Yeah! Oh. Thank you very much. I'm up the Paperboy. Look at that guy's face, it's so white. Oh, I think I keep going. I think I keep going until I get fired. I got 1 life left. Shoot, dude. Ah, that's how it ends. It ends like that. Fired. Alright, everybody. Well, thanks for listening or watching. I'm going to keep playing these playthroughs, but I'm still going to keep doing some of the same stuff that I've been doing, talking about, you know, game news, reviewing things, crap about that. So let me know what's going down, dudes, ladies. All right. Goodbye.